So, hello everybody. My name's Andy Calvert. I'm one of the assistant head teachers at IGS, and my responsibility is for transition and Key Stage 3, and I'm also the safeguarding lead at school as well. I've been at Ilkley Grammar School for a long time. I think this is my 22nd year at Ilkley Grammar School, and I think my 12th time I've done transition, something like that. Anyway, maybe not quite that many, but certainly 10. And it's great to have you all here. This is a presentation that I know some of you I can see from where you've put on the chat there. Please feel free to use the chat and introduce yourself so we can see who we've got on here. I intended to do this presentation just to make sure that everybody that missed the presentations while we've been going to school, either because we didn't get to your school or you were away that day, gets an opportunity to see this presentation. Not quite live, but hopefully you get to see everything. As we've been to Burley Woodhead School this afternoon, and so this is exactly the same presentation that they have got as well. Okay, so a quick question: why does it say the purple ties? Does anybody know why it says the purple ties on this presentation? Because that's a bit of a strange thing to put on there, the purple ties. Why does it say that? Someone's coming in there. Who've we got? Finlay's coming in, I can see. Who's going to get that? If you've just arrived, make sure you put in the chat who you are and where you're from so we can see who we've got with us. Looks like we've got 10 people on here with us. We've actually got Mrs. Varley, who's a student support and transition manager. She's overseeing the chat for me as well, and I'm sure she'll come in later to answer any questions that we might have. Okay, so yeah, we've got this right. So you are the purple ties. Interestingly, when I think of the purple ties at the minute, I think of our year 11s, because there are purple ties at the minute. They're sitting their GCSE exams right now. They've almost finished. Most of them are finishing tomorrow, but they're leaving us or joining the sixth form, and you'll be taking their tie, and it'll become a year 7 tie again. And I actually do remember starting them as year 7 as well. Okay, so you're joining Ilkley Grammar School. Ilkley Grammar School is a very old school. A quick question for you, and don't cheat on your laptops here. If Ilkley Grammar School was founded in 1607 and it's 2023 now, how old is Ilkley Grammar School? Most of you sat your SATs, okay? Most of you just sat your SATs and your maths, so you might be able to do that in your head. 1607 to 2023. How old is Ilkley Grammar School? Who's going to be fastest on there? There you go, Darcy's in. Well done, Darcy. 416 years old Ilkley Grammar School is. And if you have a look on the pictures that are surrounding around my head here, this one on this side here, okay, this one is the original grammar school. If you don't know where that is, it's down on the A65, just opposite the bike shop there, down near All Saints. And that school was founded in 1607 by a man called Dr. Marshall. At the time, it was for about 50 young boys, actually, because no girls were allowed to go to school at that time. To give you an idea of how long ago that was, I hope you all know who Guy Fawkes was, the man that tried to blow up the Houses of Parliament. He did that in 1605. So you can see how long ago it was. Just think about what the world was like then when the school was founded. Fortunately, it doesn't look like that now, but you probably recognize the one that's here that just looks like this, which is our building that we moved into in 1892, so in Victorian times. And the building still looks the same, and parts of it feel like a Victorian building sometimes when it's like that. But that's the building that everyone recognises as Ilkley Grammar School. There is a building that's missing called the Bronte Building. And the Bronte Building, who do you think that was named after? The Marshall Building here, this one that's got the tower on, was named after Dr. Marshall, who founded the school. Who do you think the Bronte Building was named after? If you want to unmute and just shout it out, that's fine, because we've not got that many people on here. Someone's typing it quickly. I should actually have put a picture of the Bronte on, I suppose. Okay, so who have we got there? Yeah, the Bronte sisters. Well done. Okay, and then this one, no one has got this one right yet. This building that's at the top here, this one, Okay, this is our newest building. This one's called the Armitage building. Okay, who do you believe? Who does anyone know who that one was named after?
Oh,
Hello?
no.
Okay, who do you think the Armitage was named after?
You can put it on full screen.
What is going on?
Go to green.
Mute your mic slightly, please. Is that okay? Thanks. Okay. That building there is our newest building. That's named after Simon Armitage, who is a very local poet, and he was, I believe, the poet laureate. So he was the Queen's poet for some time there as well. And he's a very successful man, and he came and actually opened the building for us there. And if you just have a look down at the bottom, we're actually getting a brand new building while you're with us. Oh, well done. Someone got it right. Well done, Mary. We've got a brand new building will be being built in the time that you're with us as well. So lots to look forward to. Brand new building. It'll be a bit tricky to do that, but it'll be fantastic when it's done. Okay. So let me just see where we're up to. Okay, just move on. I just need to move slightly out of the way of this here. So when you get your blazer, you'll have a badge on your pocket that looks a little bit like that. And it will say in the language at the top there, the school's motto. And that was the one that was made in 1607. So does anyone know what that language is? It does mean growing in wisdom and stature in English, but what language is that? Latin. Well done. Okay, so the language of the Romans, if you like, and I think it sounds a little bit like a Harry Potter spell. And when I'm in the classes, I try to turn someone into a frog by saying that sapienta e statura proficiamus, and see if I can turn someone into a frog. Okay, and you can see there what it means is growing in wisdom and stature. Now, I do think most people know what wisdom is. Okay, I think most people know that means good at learning and so on. But does anyone know what stature means? If anyone wants to just unmute the mic and just shout it out, that will be fine. Does anyone know what stature means? If you're of good stature, maybe if I can put it in a sentence, some people have good stature in the community. What might that mean? If you want to just put it in the chat, that's fine. If you don't want to talk, that's okay. I understand that as well.
Status?
Yeah, status. You're right. Absolutely. Yeah. So they have a good status in the. So a head teacher in a school. Yeah, how you're perceived by others, good. So the mayor of Ilkley, for example, would have good stature. There is another way of looking at it as well, because what you do find as well is not only do you grow in your stature in the community, but you also grow in your size and the person that you are. I can't see you all now, but you're probably kind of big primary school age children, but you're going to grow, and you're going to grow so big, particularly the boys. There are some boys in our year 11 and some in our year 13. I'm 6'4", and they're 6 inches taller than I am. There is a boy that's around 6'9", I think he is 6'10", and he has to duck under doors. And when we do this face to face, I actually get one of the boys out and stand them next to me and show how much bigger you're going to grow while you're with us. So there's lots of things to look forward to there. And when you get your badge on your blazer pocket, you know it says sapienta e statura proficiamus, but you actually know what it means in English is growing in wisdom and stature. Okay, so this is where we are right now. Okay, so what we've got is we're doing the road shows, and you're the last road show that we're working on at the minute, the remote road show that we've got here. And what we're doing is we've been to everybody's primary school and we've had a good chat with them, and like you're going to get the opportunity to shortly ask lots of questions, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. At the same time, what we're doing is collecting lots of data off the primary school, so talking to your teachers, talking to your head teachers, finding out what you're good at, what you're not so good at, who you work well with, who you don't work well with, and we're trying to build our team together, because there are lots of people joining Ilkley Grammar School. Okay, how many people are joining Ilkley Grammar School in year 7? Does anybody know? Some straight in there. How many have you got? Wow, fantastic, Darcy. Perfect. You're actually almost perfect, because it's currently 323, I believe, are coming to us. 323 people. So that's much bigger than most of your primary schools. And what I've got to do is build those 323 people into 11 tutor groups of around 28, 29 people. And there's a big opportunity for you to meet lots and lots of other people. Because even if you come from a really big primary school like Ashlands or Burley Oaks, you're still probably only going to know about 40 or 50 of those people. So everybody's got the opportunity to get to know new people. And my story is always this one. Please look at this as an opportunity. I met my best friend that I've kept for my entire life, and I was sat next to them just by chance and put next to them on my first day at high school. And 30 odd years later, we're still the best of friends. And so you will meet your best friend that you will keep for the rest of your life. You'll meet them at IGS, and you actually might not even know who that person is yet. Because I know lots of you already have friends, and you might be bringing some friends with you that you know. But what I would always say is there are so many other people that you can get to know. What you are all going to come over to IGS as well on what's called a One Amazing Day, where what you'll do is you'll either come with your primary school or a group of primary schools, and you'll come and have some sample lessons with us. We've set the day out, so you'll have maybe a maths lesson, English lesson, maybe a science lesson, a drama lesson, an MFL lesson, and do some language with us, and just get used to being at IGS. Your first chance to look around, that will be happening very, very soon. The first schools are doing that from next Tuesday. I'm going to do a few more of these online sessions here, mainly for your parents, just so we can talk through about how the school runs and so on, just different parts of the school, just to give your parents more chance to ask questions. You're welcome to join us should you want to as well. And then the big day, welcome day on the 13th of July, when you will meet the other 27 or 28 people that are in your tutor group, and you will also meet your tutor. Your tutor may be a current member of IGS staff, or it might be a new member of IGS staff that's just joining us as well. They normally would keep you all the way through the first 5 years of your time at IGS, so they're going to be a really important person in your life. On that evening, there's a welcome evening for your parents as well, and for you if you want to come. They're just last chance to get to the last few bits of information from the head teacher and the deputy head teachers, and probably meet your tutor as well on that evening with your parents if they're available. Also, just we have people there from the uniform shop and so on if you want to pick up your uniform. The very next day, on Friday the 14th, you're going to have a sports day with us down on our field with our sports team, and you will get a fun day with us all day. Hopefully it's a nice sunny day like it is today. The one thing you can guarantee when you're doing these online things is it's always a sunny day. That's what I always find. It's never a miserable day when you're doing these things. It's always to be sat in the jacket like this, okay? But we've got to make sure that the weather's okay that day. We'll let you know on the Monday if it looks like it's going to rain, because we obviously can't have you on a greasy, wet surface down on our sports field if we can't do any sport. And then a big day is the induction day in September. So your first day at IGS, I'll write to you with exactly when that is. But your first day with us at IGS is actually just for year 7. The other year groups all have an extra day's holiday. So your first day at IGS is just you. The next day, the whole school arrives, so it gets a lot busier. And then on your second week with us, when you're join us in September, we take you all down to Nell Bank. In 3 or 4 tutor groups go down together, and you will have a great day team building down at Nell Bank, which I know most of you have probably been to before. Okay, let's just move on. IGS has some new values. We've got their 6 values: respect, courage, responsibility, kindness, resilience, and then right down the middle, pride. What I say when I'm doing this at primary school is I know lots of you have lots of opportunity to do those things at primary school. And I know lots of you are so respectful, courageous, responsible, kind and resilient, and have huge pride in what you do. We just want to give you an opportunity to get even better at it, really. So those are the values. You'll see those all over the school. We asked some of the students to explain what it's like at IGS, and so these are our current year 7, and you can see all the things that they're asking you to do. Don't worry about the older years. They are lovely. I know the children at IGS are great and will really look after you. Always be kind to others. And then Amelia was just saying this once. I actually felt really scared. There's nothing to worry about. IGS is easy to navigate. It might not feel like that when you come from a primary school, but you will find your way around. Be organised, finish your homework, charge your iPad, bring the right equipment and pack your bag the night before. And what I would say to you about the difference between high school and primary school is that you don't go to just one room and the teacher's always there. You actually have to move from one lesson to the next lesson to the next lesson. That takes a little bit of time. Don't worry about getting lost. We'll give you lots of ideas of how to do that. You'll be starting that as soon as you come on one amazing day and getting used to where things are. And you soon get used to it. It takes most people a couple of weeks to get used to getting their way around the school, and once you've done things for a couple of weeks, you're absolutely fine. And you mustn't worry about the staff giving you a negative or something like that if you're late. We know it's a difficult site to learn your way around, so the staff will be really understanding and make sure that they give you an opportunity to get there. So please don't be worried about that at all. Okay. Just to kind of give you an idea of how the school runs, the school's split up into 8 sections of what's called personal development. I'm just going to run you through those things so you can see the things that you should hopefully looking forward to. So the first one there is really about learning. So it's called Scholarship and Curiosity. Like in all of your primary schools, we have a really highly skilled team of staff who will give you absolutely everything. Make sure that you get the best outcomes you possibly can when you leave us in either year 11 or in year 13. It's a hugely dedicated staff body, and they will do everything they can. All they expect from you is to arrive to school, work hard. Okay, if you do that and you're there all the time and you're working hard, your outcomes will be fantastic. To support you, we've got something called PBT time. That's to look at more of the values kind of things, to give you opportunities to do things differently. You have your iPad. We have a 2-week timetable, so it's week A and a week B. So this week is week B, next week will be week A. You just that'll be on your iPad, but we also give you an opportunity to kind of write it down and take a photograph of it as well. You've just got to remember whether you're packing for Monday week A or Monday week B, because they are different. So you do need to get yourself a little really organized. Best way to do it is pack the night before for everything that you've got the next day. That's the best way to do things. We want to keep your love of learning. You've been so well taught at primary school. We really want you to keep that, and as long as your love of learning as well. And your tutor will read to you every morning a novel that you can all look at. And this year, year 7 have been reading The Boy at the Back of the Class, which I know a lot of you will have read as well. But also they're looking at I Am Malala, which is the the autobiography that was written by Malala Yousafzai, the girl that was was injured in Afghanistan, and is now a really, is a peace boy. So we've had a really great year, and it's worked so well with that. There'll be a new group of books that we've got. I mean, you can see there, Mrs. Valley said they were done Warhorse, The Boy at the Back of the Class, and I Am Malala this year for year 7. So you've read 3 books together. All the lessons are taught in a tutor group. So that's why you don't need to worry about getting lost, because all of the tutor group go in the same place. So you're all going to maths, you're all going to science, you're all going to RE, everyone's moving to the same place, apart from once we've had you for a little while and some term, we will set you for maths. You'll all do the same work in maths. You just work slightly quicker in one of the sets than you do in the other one. Okay. You can't do all of that learning unless we keep you healthy and well. And this is the most important thing the school does, really, is to keep you safe and happy at school, because safe and happy children learn well. And what you've got there to support you is a head of year. Now it will be a new head of year. It was due to be Mrs. McManus, but she's been successful in getting another job. So we will be appointing a new head of year. So that will be, I'll get that person's name out to you as soon as we manage to appoint you. So that's really exciting for us. And you've obviously got Mrs. Varley, who's on the call here and is typing away on the chat there. And you can see the photograph of Mrs. Varley that's on there. And we really look after you all the way through your time at school, because that growing in stature conversation that we had before, not only do you get bigger, you also change in the person you are as well. And we're really good at making sure we can support everybody when anything goes wrong. Just whiz through a few of these. So what you've got here is we want to give you a chance to be part of the community. And that's what I want to say to you now. When you wear the IGS uniform, you represent us all. And you can see the photographs that are around my head there. The girl that's just to the left-hand side, so right-hand side of me there, you can see actually made her own tote bag and sold that for, I think she raised £500 or so. You can see all the food behind me as well that we donated to the food banks and so on. So Key Stage 3, I think last year, which is year 7, 8 and 9, raised around £15,000 from off the top of my head. So we're incredibly great at organising charity work, and that's all done by the students as well. And we give you that real opportunity to become a really active citizen and part of the school community. Okay, we want you to be a great leader, and we want you to be able to practice those skills. Some people are naturally good leaders, some people need to work very hard at it, but we want you to act as role models for other people. We represent the school, and also when you're ready for your career, wherever that be, your job and career as you leave school, we want you to be able to go in having those skills to be able to lead other people in the jobs and so on, because that's what we want you to get ready for. So we do that through the PBT program and what's called the iLeader program, and you'll meet some of the sports leaders, the sports iLeaders, on your sports day, and you will also meet some of the sixth form students on welcome day as well. And they will be the iLeaders that support your tutor group all the way through year 7 when you meet the current year 11, but they will be year 12 when they meet you later in the year. Okay. I want you to get involved in lots of things. I really do. We have a massive range of sports interests and cultural things that you can get involved in as well. They're called extracurricular activities. There's lots of sports for boys and girls. There's lots of creative opportunities in the arts, so music and drama. Please get involved in those things. Even if you've ever got involved in something at primary school, please do get involved. There is a clubs group, sorry, what's it called? There's a clubs fair where you can sign up for everything at the start of the year and make sure that you try something new. You've got every opportunity to do that at a new school. Even if you've not done things at your primary school, you've got a big opportunity to do it when you come up with us. The school's changed a huge amount over the time I've been here, and one of the things that it's changed to is it's a really respectful, equal and diverse society, and anyone that gets in the way of that gets dealt with really, really quickly. To support you in the way you develop in that area, we've got what's called the PSHE curriculum, where you talk about all those things about growing up and how things change. And the one thing that is always a worry for people when you join in a high school is bullying, and I just want to assure you that that's something that you don't need to worry about at all. Any bullying that does happen gets dealt with really quickly, and the students that you can see on that, the pictures behind me, there's an active anti-bullying group that really works hard with us to eradicate any bullying at all, and anytime you get any upset at all, you must let us know and we will deal with it, and it's certainly not something that you should worry about in any way at all. do lots of other things away from school as well as trips and visits. You've obviously said you're going to Nell Bank in the second week that you're with us. Challenge and Celebration Week is the last week of the school. The year sevens do trips around the local area, so they're going to Flamingo Land, they're walking the wharf, they're doing some circus skills on our field, and then they're also year eight are going to London, and they're doing a West End show, and visiting the London Eye, Harry Potter World and so on. Year 9 are going to the Lake District, and then year 10, that is the challenge because they're going on their work experience. There are lots of other things that you can get involved in as you go through the school. There's a Duke of Edinburgh, there's a battlefields trip in year 9 to Belgium and France. The school has a really active exchange program with a school in Coutances in France and one in Madrid in Spain. So the students come across from those cities and village to IGS and stay with local families, and the students go over there. The Coutances exchange is the longest exchange group that's happened in any school anywhere. I think it's in 1952, I believe it started, so it's been going for a very long time. And then there are enrichment trips all around the world. The probably highlight for this year is that the World Challenge group are going to Vietnam, and they're going to help build a school over there. So you know, those sorts of things there, and there's trips to Geneva, York, and everywhere to go. And there is a skiing trip. They've been just recently, come back from Italy and from Canada. So there you go. Yeah, definitely ski trips as well if you are a skier or you want to learn to ski. And then the last bit here before we give it over to you, we've got what's called next step careers here. So the children, I shouldn't call them, the students that are behind me just here, there's a head teacher here and a deputy head teacher, but all the other people that are on the picture behind me there, they're all going to two of the best universities in the whole world, the British universities of Oxford and Cambridge, and 12 students there, as long as they get the grades this year, have been given offers to Oxford and Cambridge. But we want you to know that you can end up at one of the very top universities, but there's also lots of other things that you can do after you leave us as well. One of the exciting things at the minute are what are called degree level apprenticeships. I was talking to two students. One of the boys is going to a big accountancy firm in the centre of Leeds as an apprentice, and they're going to pay for his accountancy degree for him as well, so that's all good. And another student is going up to work for British Aerospace and will be working on the Eurofighter Typhoon replacement fighter aircraft when he's up there as well, and that's up in Barnoldswick, up in North Yorkshire there. So lots of opportunities, and make sure that you get involved and look forward, and we, in order to guide you through that when you start getting into the higher years, we make sure that you get really good careers guidance so you know where you're going to and how to get there. Okay, and now over to you. Okay, so you can start bashing down any questions that you want. I've talked for 25 minutes or so there, so any questions that you have, if you want to put them in the chat. If there's, what we'll try and do is we'll just keep going as long as we can. These things tend to sort of fizzle out eventually. And then what we will do is we'll just end this. It'll be recorded and everyone else can have a look at it. Okay, so just start bashing your questions into the chat box there. Unless you want to come on and ask the questions, that's fine too. If anyone wants to turn their mic on and come and do that, that's fine too. It's up to you. Just put your hand up and then I can ask if anyone wants to do it. Will I be with people from my school? Which school are you at? I can't remember what it said. Where we can, everybody, if we can, everybody will be with someone that they're friendly with. Okay, so I don't know how many, maybe Mrs. Varley knows how many of you are coming from Hoyle Court. But if there's a couple of you, yeah, we'll try and keep you together, as long as that's okay with you getting on with each such. 3 from Hoyle Court. Okay. There's a good chance you'll be together then. You'll have at least one friend with you, yeah, someone that you're friendly with. Yeah, if you come from one of the bigger primary schools, you will definitely make that happen. The only people we can't make that happen for, and this is what I want you to all think about, there are people where they're the only the only person that's coming from that primary school, and you might be sat next to them and they might be your best friend for the rest of your life and you've never met them yet. Yeah, 2:30 on a Wednesday, 3 o'clock every other day. Yeah, we use that, the shorter day on the Wednesdays for staff training. So as soon as the students go home at 2:30, the staff go into to their training sessions. So yeah. What colour tie we have? You'll have purple. That's what we said. I think you just missed that, guys, at the beginning. Yeah, purple tie. Right, Darcy, that's what we mean about the person that you're coming from Eldwick. So we're going to have to try and find someone else that's coming. So we will find you someone that we think you're going to get. Imagine you're going to be, it'll be amazing. You'll meet lots and lots of people. Look at it as a massive opportunity. But yeah, you see someone like Darcy there, she's the only person coming from Eldwick. So she's got to make friends because there's no one coming with her. But Darcy, we're really good at that, and we'll make sure that we find someone that we think you're going to get on really well with. And when you come, Darcy, one amazing day, as Mrs. Varley said there, we'll be able to try and match you up. Okay. Honestly, nothing to worry about. Look at it as an opportunity. You've got 322 people to meet. Burley Woodhead, yeah, we were at Burley Woodhead today. So we will make sure we're working with Mr. Deary to make sure that you've got we keep all the good friendships together where we can. Have got to break you up a little bit because it's silly for me to put all the Burley Woodhead children in one class. That wouldn't work. I do need to break you up a little, but we're speaking to Mr. Deary. How long are each lesson? About 50 minutes. Each lesson is about 50 minutes. Some are 55, some are 50. You have 6 lessons in a day, apart from on a Wednesday when you only have 5. So it's 2 lessons, then break, another 2 lessons, then lunch, 2 lessons, then you go home. Break times after the first 2 lessons, so it's 10:30. Lunchtime, 50 minutes. 50 minutes for lunch, and we've got to serve 2,100 people in 50 minutes, because that's how many people there are in Ilkley Grammar School. So it does, so we do need to get things moving quickly, so it's really well organized, and the food is fantastic. That's one question that always comes up about the food. You can bring your own sandwiches if you want, and there are sandwich rooms, but if you do want to eat on site with us, the food offer is great. There's a burger day, a pizza day. Allergies, don't worry about that, we'll collect that from you. So we have lots of choice, really. There's pasta every day. Salad bar is free, fruit is free. So you can take as much of that as you want to. And the food has a sort of set price, and we don't bring money to IGS. What we'll do on the first day is we take a picture of your thumbprint, and that thumbprint is linked to a system called Parent Pay, and your parents then will be able to load on money onto that account, and then you get your pan au chocolat at break time, work your way to the front of the queue. When you get to the front of the queue, you just give them, you put your thumb on a little device, it scans your thumb and it takes the money off. All the prices are on there. With regards to allergies, sorry, I just saw allergies there, Jessica. Just if you have got allergies, we will always collect that data off, but if there are allergies that are really severe that we need to know about, if you mind contacting Mrs. Varley, and we'll make sure that we get everything in place. We do get the detail off the primary schools, but it's always worth just cross-checking it with us, particularly if it's a really serious allergy, to know. Do the year groups mix? G7 have their own court, but the year groups do mix in the corridors. So yeah, we can't keep you separate from that. No vending machines, no. Oh yeah, they've all gone. Vending machines have all gone. How much time do you get between lessons to get to the next lesson? Officially nothing, but there's a realism that you can't get around the site. But you do have a reasonable amount of money, a reasonable amount of time to get from one lesson to the next. It depends where you're going from. You can be just going across the corridor, so it'll take you 10 seconds to get there. Or if you're coming from A floor down to Q floor, like Mrs. Varley said there, it's going to take you a few minutes. Officially, there's no actual time, but there's an understanding from the staff, because the staff have got to move around as well, and it does take time because the corridors are quite busy, and it's quite a hilly site. How are we doing? We're doing okay still. Just keep pushing them in there. If anything, nothing silly, okay? Nothing silly at all. What time does school start? Good question. So school starts, you've got to be in your tutor group for 8:25. Okay. So most of the buses arrive in good time for that, as do the trains. One of the trains is a bit tight, so you do need to get up the hill quite quickly. Okay, yeah, Mrs. Varley's put that 8:20 on site, 8:25 in your tutor group. How many toilet breaks will be allowed? Ideally is you don't use the toilet in lesson if you can avoid it. So we always encourage people to go before school, break times, lunch times, after school if you can. But the teachers are understanding if you do need to go for a toilet break, that's fine. It's quite an understanding school that you just to the toilet straight back. Okay. How do you get negatives? You get positives for doing things right. You get negatives for doing things wrong. There's always a worry about getting negatives, but let me show you across the whole school, it's 97% positive to 3% negative. So even right across the school, most people get positives rather than negatives. And you have to do something in year 7, you have to do something pretty bad to get a negative. Okay, but as you go through school, obviously forgetting homework, upsetting other people, that would all lead to negatives. Definitely do basketball, yes. There's a plane going over my house, sorry. It's so noisy. Yeah, we say Mrs. Valley there, we've got some people with over 400 positives and no negatives at all. I think it's something like 60% of the whole year 7 population haven't got a negative. So that's incredible. And then it's only 2 or 3 that have got over 10. So I do really expect you to get many more positive negatives. We've got our own pool, Darcy. Yeah, so we definitely do swimming. Yeah, it's not a very big pool, but it is a pool. So yeah, in your PE lessons, we've got swimming, and there are galas and so on as well, that we put a team into. So yeah, if you're a swimmer, yeah, you're in a good place. Yeah, definitely football, definitely cricket. Football's been incredibly successful this year. We've had 5 teams in the Yorkshire and Leeds Cup final, and we won 4 of them. One of them was one of the girls' teams, and they won 11-1, the girls' team. So we're incredibly good. How long do you get changed? How long do we have to change your PE? It depends whether you're off down at the field or if you're on site, but you get enough time. You just the staff will manage that. They get you out of the activity and give you time to get yourself dressed. Okay. There is a basketball team, yeah, and football teams, yeah. We need to drop off. Thank you so much. It's been really helpful. Just been excited to meet everyone. That's fine. I think we're kind of running out of questions here. What I would say to you is, if you want to ask any more questions, then just buzz them to Mrs. Varley on the transition email address, and we'll do our best to answer them. Mrs. Varley might be able to type that up there just so it's recorded on the chat. But it's been great to meet you all, and I just hope that's giving you a little opportunity. You've not missed anything that anybody else hasn't had. So if you do have any other questions, just let us know, okay?